So still what comes first is like your y, or if you want to call it something else, that's fine. So the amount of time would be like r, let's call that y, t, whatever you want to call that. It's going to vary directly with the number of bricks. You can call that x. So far we know y equals kx. But it also varies inversely with the number of brick layers. Call that some other variable. I'm just going to call it z. You can call it p. It doesn't matter. Inversely means we're dividing. So our equation would be kx over z. After you have how you set it up, then you can look at the next piece and start to put in numbers and find k. So a wall containing 1,200 bricks. So number of bricks was x, so we would put that in for x. Brick layers was z. And then 18 hours was y. The biggest thing with this is keeping these straight. Whatever you define as one thing, make sure that's the same for everything. Great, so put all those numbers in. We have 18 equals, we don't know our k. Our x is 1,200. Our z is 3. So we could divide 1,200 and 3 and then solve for k, or multiply by 3 and then divide by 1,200. Either or does not matter. Let's say we divide first. That would be 400. And then we can divide 400 on both sides. Figure out what that would be. 0.045. After we find our k value, the process then is the same. Put it back into your original. We have y equals 0.045 x all over z. And then look at what it's asking and look at what you're given. How long would it take to build a wall of 4,500 bricks if 5 bricklayers worked on it? What variable are we looking for? Of the variables we have, which one are we looking for, or which one don't we know?
Z.
C is number of bricklayers. You have that.
Y.
Y. Okay, so that means this is x. So that means we don't know y. Leave that as y. Put in everything else. Solve for y. 0.45, x is 4,500, and c is 5. Then you can multiply the top and then divide. You can divide the 4,500 and 5 and then multiply. That order doesn't matter. Or you can put it all in as one fraction and it'll simplify the whole thing for you. Do that and tell me what you get. 40.5. And 40.5 what? Hours. So if you can set this up, put in, define your variables, set this up, define your variables, solve for k, put it back in, figure out what you're solving for, these will be no problem for you. Before we do another, what questions do we have? let's try 3. A video store rents DVDs. The weekly total number varies directly with the total inventory and varies inversely with the cost of each rental tape. So again, you can make up your own variables. You can just use Y, X, and Z. Again, it doesn't matter. If they give you variables, use those variables. So whatever comes first would be like your Y, or you can call it W, T, N, whatever. Varies directly with the total inventory. I'm going to call that X. We have some Y equals KX. And varies inversely with the cost of each rental tape. That would be some Z. Or if you want to call that C or R or T or some other variable, that's also fine. Right. The store in Acme, New York last week rented a total of 3,000, I think that's supposed to be DVDs, when its inventory was 9,600 and the cost per rental was $2.40. Of those 3 numbers, which is which variable? Which is Y, which is X, which is Z?
Y is 3,000. Z is 9,600.
Is Z?
I mean X.
There we go. Which means the 240 is Z. Right? Take those numbers, put it in your equation, start solving for K. So again, if you want to divide 9,600 and 2.4 and then divide again, you could do that. Or multiply then divide, or 9,600 or 9,600 divided by 2.4 is what? 4,000 even. So that means K is 3/4 or 0.75. Either or you can write. Put that in your original equation. If the inventory does not change, so that's telling you whatever number we used before, we're going to use it again. What would be the effect on the weekly total number of increasing the cost per rental to $3? What are we looking for? Did you make a pass already?
Yes.
What here don't we know? X was our inventory. Here it says the inventory does not change. So that means our inventory is going to stay whatever it was before 9,600. So we don't know why. So again, solve for Y, put in everything else. We have 0.75 times 9,600 all over 3 now. What would your Y value be? And then with this, since it's looking for a weekly total number, and that number was DVDs, you can say DVDs as your label. Questions on that one? On the next page or the back of this, we're going to try 5. So 4 is another one like we were just doing that's directly and inversely. So I want you guys to be able to try at least one of these. I think 6 is similar. So for 5, a ball is dropped from the window of a building. The distance it falls varies directly with the square of the time it falls. So if you want to just use y and x, that's fine. If you want to use d and t, that's also fine. How would we set up this equation? Not k over x. The square of, so kx squared. Okay, so be mindful of the words, because if you miss that square, then all your work is going to be wrong. Right? If a ball can fall 8 feet and 0.5 seconds, so let's use that, find our k. The distance would be our y. The seconds would be our x. 8 equals k times 0.5 squared. What is that one? 4? Or 0.25? Divide both sides by 0.25. What is your k value? Then we can put that back into our original. Y equals 32x squared. And then we're looking for how far it'll fall if it takes 2.5 seconds. What are we looking for? X or Y? Y. Okay, so keep y as the variable, 32 times 2.5 squared. You can put that all in your calculator all together, find out what 2.5 squared is, and then multiply it by 2. Either or, doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. And 200 what?
200 feet.
Mm-hmm. Of the questions on these 2 pages, if you have questions about 5 or 6, we could do one of those, not both. But of the ones we did not do, what questions do we have? Want to see, go over? Do you don't have any of those we want to see or go over or have questions about, you can use the rest of class to practice. Go back and do Khan Academy if you haven't finished those. Go back and do the problems we didn't do. Or on the very last 2 pages, circle these numbers or write them down so you have them to refer back to later. There are 2 worksheets. So on the first worksheet, you could do any of these numbers. You could do more than that, but these are the ones I'm telling you. So 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 10, 12. And then on the second worksheet, and if you need to go back to this, I will. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 10. So all of those are good practice. Remember that your quiz is next Thursday. So use this time wisely. Practice, do Khan Academy so you're not worrying about it tomorrow or the weekend or next week. Practice. Let me know if you have questions on any of those, need my help on any of those.